Republicans currently in the cycle. Here now, Tammy Bruce, president of Independent Women's Voice and Fox News contributor, and Chris Hahn, former aide to Senator Chuck Schumer and syndicated radio host. I've been saying all week, welcome to both of you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
That the tentacles of this whole thing go well beyond the actual process. So even if it does end tomorrow, this story goes on both narratives. Tammy, what do you think the impact is on Republican senators?
I think what we saw, and Rahm Emanuel made the comparison to the Clinton impeachment, right, and the nature of the impact on the Republicans. But the real comparison would be the Kavanaugh dynamic. We've now seen this kind of play out, partisan politics being played out, using an individual as a target to try to get your name made and to try to, gin up some enthusiasm on your base. We know that failed for the Senate because of people watching what was happening. They found it unfair. They also didn't like that we were taken away from the business of the country. And I think we're going to see the same thing a bit here as well. But even beyond the impeachment, which I think is kind of a Hail Mary pass in the midst of all of this, is you see these enormous crowds for the president, the New Jersey crowd, which was overwhelming. You see him at 50% approval today with the Rasmussen three-day polling. You see a remarkable dynamic when it comes to the senators who are in a little bit of trouble. That's from the Republican base withdrawing because of what they've been doing against the president. Those individuals will come back. Bottom line is I think that you're going to be seeing Democratic senators like Doug Jones, with Jeff Sessions running, also in trouble. I think you're going to see the Republicans keep the Senate, and it's going to be because of the coattails of the president.
Okay.
One of the last things, though, is that in 2016, for the first time ever, people voted for the same party for the Senate and as they did for the presidency. That will be repeated in November.
Right. Chris, she laid out a compelling argument for why this is a big win for Republicans. What do you say?
And she said it so well, but she's completely wrong.
Wow.
Look, here's the thing. The Republicans are overreaching here. They are not distancing themselves from what the president did, and most Americans think that there was something wrong with what the president did. More importantly, Americans like separation of powers. They want to see a Congress that holds the president accountable. And you've got swing states like Maine, even Georgia. I think Kelly Loeffler, who's now got a serious primary opponent, is going to have some problems winning that primary because I think Doug Collins has got the president's ear, and her husband donated to the Clintons, and there's all sorts of issues with that. So you're going to see a real challenge in that state. I think Martha MacCallum is toast. I think that we obviously know Gardner's toast. You're right. We might lose Doug Jones. There might be some seats that Democrats have playing, but I think there are more Republican seats in play. And I think the fact that they would not stand up to the president, that they would not be an account, they would not hold this president to account, is a problem for them. Plus, we all know this. There's a scandal a day with this guy. Every single day, something else comes out, and they refuse to hold him accountable. So they own everything that comes out from here to November.
Republicans would say that the scandal a day is perpetuated and fed by your side of the aisle, who wants to continue to feed that beast, and that at some point people get really.
He gives us the material to feed the beast, though. He's given us the food to feed the beast.
Let's remember what the Democrats continue to do, which is underestimate this president. And what we saw on CNN the other night is an attitude about his supporters, which they can't resist in repeating, complete contempt and ridicule, and not taking supporters seriously either. That was a mistake in 2016. It's a mistake now.
I think, you're going to get, we're going to see some of this rally at 8 o'clock tonight in Des Moines. And the president is going to focus on USMCA, going to focus on the economy, all of these things, Chris, which he has been able to accomplish even in the middle of all of this.
Look, I mean, the economy is good. Right? He should be at 60% in the polls with this economy. He's at 42% of the average of polls. You can quote Rasmussen all you want.
Was at
Nobody believes Rasmussen.
The polls have definitely been increasing besides Rasmussen.
He has been between 40 and 45% his entire presidency. He has not expanded his base. I've never seen a president in my lifetime following politics who's never at least given lip service to trying to unite the country. And for all this talk about vitriol towards his base, this president has more vitriol towards Democrats and Democratic supporters than anyone I've ever seen.
It's really hard to unite the base when you're under a very partisan impeachment process. Very, very hard to say, I'm going to be a uniter.
He didn't do it before either,
and yet,
Martha.
we also have on the issues, the Gallup poll today about how people feel the state of the nation is on the issues. Up very often double digits. It's a remarkable thing, including with the race relations.
Numbers are not good.
But don't presume that that's about Donald Trump. The wrong track is about also what the Democrats and the never-Trumpers and this attitude about the president also signifies. The approval rating of Congress is at 26%. Nobody likes what Congress is doing. Nobody likes it.
It's always look.
But wait, wrong
like
track is not about the president. It's about the nature of what the opposition to the president has been doing.
The only thing that's keeping this president from being reelected is this president, his actions in office, his contempt for the rule of law, and his attitude toward the American people. He is not going to be reelected because of his own words.
And his supporters would say that the main thing that will reelect him is that he is who he is.
He has not expanded his supporters. He won by 77,000 votes over 3 states. A lot of those people were older. They retired and moved to other states. He is in big trouble.
And at this point, he was elected based on a wing and a prayer, perhaps that maybe this businessman could make a difference. And he has delivered the Middle East peace process, the economy, the trade deals. It is a remarkable level of accomplishment. So it was not just now hoping he might be right. He's proven to be right.
And his average of polling is 43%. With all those accomplishments, he's at 43% on average.
And Bernie looks poised to take Iowa, potentially California, possibly New Hampshire. How do you feel about that, Chris?
I don't know. I want to see what happens. I'm going to support whoever's running against this president.
Because that's what it's all about. When you talk about going into the election booth, it's going to be about a choice.
There are a lot of things I don't like about Bernie Sanders, but at least the rules of law will be followed by him, which I don't believe they're followed by this president. And he will try to unite the country.
And,
I might not like everything he does, but he will have to go to Congress to get some of those things done. And we know how Congress works.
You have to look at character of a person who honeymooned in the Soviet Union. I worry about that when it comes to the rule of law.
We'll see what happens.
Very good to have you both here.